Hey, what's up? How you doing? As probably anybody interested in going to college knows, it's very expensive. Therefore, saving pretty much any money you can is very important. Since I've been in college for a while, I have learned some ways to save money, and I'm going to be telling you 15 of them. So if you want to make your wallet happy while you're trying to be a successful student and pay your way through college, here are some tips for you. Number one is do not go for the biggest and best meal plan. If you live in a dorm and you're not living at home or in an apartment and you just don't have a kitchen available to you, you're probably going to be going for a meal plan, which allows you to get your meals and food on campus. And a lot of schools have a lot of options for meal plans, ranging from the lower end, only a couple of meals a week, to the higher end, 7 days a week, unlimited meal plans. And let me just go ahead and tell you, you are probably not going to need the most expensive meal plan. You might not even need the second most expensive meal plan, just depending on how much you're going to be relying on your school to feed you. A lot of the more expensive ones offer more than people actually need, but you might think that you're going to need it just looking at all the options, thinking to yourself, better safe than sorry, and go for more than you'll actually need. If you're trying to save money, that's probably not the best way to go about it because you're not getting your money's worth. Meal plans are very expensive. They can be thousands of dollars. Really not something that you're going to want to spend all of your money on, especially if you don't end up using it as often as you think you will. If you have an apartment or a house or just somewhere with a kitchen, buy groceries and meal prep your food, or at least cook your food most nights. I would go ahead and recommend not buying a meal plan at all, simply just buying groceries and cooking your own meals, and not going out that often and getting fast food. Constantly going out to Cookout or McDonald's or just getting really any fast food all the time is not healthy for your body or your bank account. Just stick with groceries most of the time. Next is rent your textbooks. Do not buy them. I can't really think of a time I have ever thought it was worth my while to buy a textbook because I was going to use it after that class was over. Simply renting your textbooks can save you a ton of money, and do not rent them from your university's bookstore if you can help it. Pretty much any other place to rent your books is probably going to be cheaper than your bookstore. If you can find somebody who has taken that class before with that professor, they can tell you if you even need to get the book at all, because sometimes professors will say that you need to buy the book, but they don't actually ever use it, or you use it maybe one time. Checking ratemyprofessor.com can tell you that, or asking around can also help you figure that one out. Don't redecorate every single time you move. I know it can be tempting to change up your style or just change up your decorations every time you move dorms or apartments or houses, but it will save you a lot of money if you just keep reusing the decorations and things from each dorm or each apartment to apartment. Don't buy your school supplies from those little pod stores around your campus or from your school's bookstore. If your university has those little pod places around their campus that has groceries and school supplies, those are usually overpriced, and they're just so that you can spend your school's money on them. If your school has things like MTSU has FlexBucks, which is like money that you get when you buy a meal plan that you can only spend at certain places around your university. So if you're just spending cash, don't waste your money at those little stores around your campus. Go off campus to buy school supplies or buy them online, as opposed to maybe trying to go with the convenience of getting them on campus. They are going to be more expensive. So probably don't do that if you're trying to save money. The only thing that I buy at my bookstore are Scandrons, just because they're like a quarter or a dime. Probably can't really get much cheaper than that. But when it comes to other types of school supplies, probably want to go to Walmart or Target or somewhere other than your school's bookstore or pods. And if you want a snack, and that's why you're going to one of those little grocery stores on campus because you're hungry and you want a granola bar or something, just factor that in when you go shopping and buy snacks to keep in your backpack as opposed to buying them on campus. When you go grocery shopping, utilize sales and coupons and any sort of deals that you can get. There are apps that you can get that tell you when stores' sales are, and that can give you coupons if you are interested in grocery shopping for most of your stuff if you don't have a meal plan or something. At first, it might not seem like you're saving that much money, but if you're constantly using sales and coupons, over time you do actually save a significant amount. When you go out with your friends, don't let yourself get caught up with the fun of it all and start spending a lot of money that you would not have spent if you weren't with a group of people. Be cautious of what you're spending even when you're out having fun. Obviously, you don't want to give up on having fun social time with your friends just because you're trying to save money, so instead try to recommend cheap places or free places as opposed to going somewhere where you know you're going to be having to spend a lot of money. Sometimes your friends won't be as good with their money as you are with yours, so you have to be careful of how you behave when you're with people who are probably going to be spending a lot more money than you. Use your student discount anywhere you can. A lot of places actually offer student discounts, but you might not know it because it's not advertised everywhere inside the store or restaurant. So it never hurts to ask anywhere you go if they offer a student discount. Limit your spending on items that you just want, you don't actually need. This can mean having a sort of budgeted amount of money a month that you will spend on things that are fun or that you just want and you don't actually need to have. Or it can be as simple as saying you will buy one thing a month or go out one time a month and spend a chunk of money just for fun's sake instead of actually what you need. But be careful that you're not devoting too much money to things that you want instead of need. Use the free amenities that your university offers, and if you don't know what they are, see if you can find out. Some campuses offer free printing or a free rec center. Usually universities have events that have free food or free t-shirts or free things available at the events. Maybe there's a Friday night event that's happening on your campus and your friends are all wanting to go off campus somewhere and spend more money than you're willing to. Suggest staying on campus and going to that event. Don't get a dog. Just don't. I know everybody loves dogs and wants dogs, especially right now because it's like a trendy thing to want and have a dog. But dogs are not a trend. They are living things and they're expensive, so don't get one when you're in college. It's just not a good idea. You're probably gone most of the time, so your dog is left alone. They're expensive to get shots for and food for. If you want to go away for a weekend, you have to find a place to board them. And dogs require a lot of love and attention that you might not have enough time to give. So it's probably not a good idea for you to get a dog in college. Probably wait on that one until you're more financially stable. If you're a coffee drinker, get a coffee maker instead of going out and buying coffee from Starbucks or Dunkin' every single time you want some caffeine. Initially, a coffee maker can be a little bit expensive, but it does pay off in the long run. I believe if you buy K-cups in bulk, it can be like 24 cents for a cup of coffee. That's a whole lot cheaper than Starbucks. If you're trying to save up some cash, look for an on-campus job, such as working in the library, at the rec center, tutoring, the dining hall, restaurants, any of that stuff. Campuses a lot of times hire students for those types of jobs. So if you can get one, that's a super convenient job because it's just right on campus where you are all the time anyway. Keep looking for scholarships even if you're already in school, because some universities sometimes will offer scholarships even while you're already in school, not just when you're trying to get in. Especially if you're trying to do something like study abroad. That can be extremely expensive, but a lot of people want to do it despite the fact that they don't have the money for it. If you can find scholarships to pay for a bulk of the expenses to study abroad, then that way you're saving a ton of money. And lastly, this one might be super simple, but honestly, I would say a majority of college students don't do it, and that's just to keep track of how much money you spend and maybe even make a budget for yourself. It's a lot easier to convince yourself to save money when you're actually watching it dwindle down. Just making a budget and just keeping track of how much money you're spending can really help you visualize how much money that you have and how much money that you should be spending each month in order to stay on track with how much money that you make and to keep you from overspending. Those were my 15 tips on how to save money in college. I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful for you. If it was, you can give it a like. You can also subscribe to me. I put out new videos every single Friday. If you like college videos and you're interested in other types, I have a college playlist if you want to check that out. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye guys. You're never sure if you're doing anything right. You utter the phrases, I'm hungry, I'm tired, or I'm dying at least once a day, if not once an hour.